Have you ever walked into a room, only to stop and wonder why you were there in the first place? Or maybe you've reread the same page in a book 3 times because your mind just wouldn't settle? If this sounds familiar, take a breath. You're not broken. You're not alone. And no, this isn't just getting old. It might actually be your body and mind whispering, asking for attention in ways you didn't expect. You see, when we think about aging, we often picture the obvious: gray hair, aching knees, maybe a few extra doctor's visits. But the truth is, the most meaningful signs, the ones that can change how we live, aren't always loud. They're quiet, subtle, easy to overlook. And that's why today, we're here to shine a light on 5 hidden signs of aging that can sneak up on us, but also hold the key to living with more clarity, strength, and joy. This isn't about fear. It's about awareness. Because the more clearly we see these signs, the more empowered we are to act, not with panic, but with purpose. So let's begin with the first hidden sign. 1. Mental fatigue that feels like just being tired. Have you ever looked at a sink full of dishes, or thought about returning a simple phone call, and suddenly it just felt like too much? Not because the task is hard, but because your brain didn't want to engage. That kind of foggy overwhelm isn't laziness. It's often mental fatigue, one of aging's quietest signals. Your brain may be running on less rest, less nutrition, or more background stress than you realize. This is something Maggie, 80, knows all too well. She shared, "After turning 80, I felt a shift. But instead of giving up, I joined the YMCA and got a personal trainer. Every day is a gift. I'm grateful for naps, loved ones, and the chance to keep going. Never give up." Mental fatigue doesn't mean it's over. It means something needs adjusting. It might be more sleep, more movement, or less pressure to do it all at once. So if your mind feels cluttered, heavy, or foggy, don't push harder. Listen deeper. Your brain might just need a reset. 2. Emotional isolation, even when you're not technically alone. Another subtle sign? Your world starts to shrink. You're not necessarily lonely, but maybe the phone rings less. Conversations feel shallower. Or you realize it's been a while since someone really asked, "How are you, really?" This isn't just about having company. It's about connection that nourishes the spirit. Anne, whose 95-year-old father lost his wife and now lives alone, shared a heartbreaking glimpse. "He prepares his own breakfast, but the sadness is overwhelming. Hearing him ask God to take him home breaks my heart. This video helped me process my emotions and find peace." Isolation accelerates cognitive decline more than we think. It weighs on the heart. It dulls the spark that makes life feel rich. But even a short conversation, a shared memory, or a smile from a stranger can light that spark again. So if you've pulled away, or feel like life has pulled others away from you, it might be time to reach out. To someone. Anyone. Because you still matter. And your voice still needs to be heard. These first 2 signs, mental fatigue and emotional disconnection, aren't just quirks of aging. They're signals. Invitations to realign. To reconnect with what makes you feel alive. And in the next part, we'll uncover 3 more subtle, powerful signs that your body and spirit may be calling out for your care. So stay with us. This journey isn't about counting down, it's about waking up. To your strength, to your story, and to the beauty of growing older, on your terms. We've talked about mental fatigue and emotional isolation, 2 hidden signs that aging may be asking us to pay closer attention. Now let's look at 3 more signs. These ones may start in the body, but they ripple out, affecting how we move, how we see ourselves, and how confidently we face each new day. 3. Changes in posture, the slow curling inward. You've probably noticed it in others before, and maybe now in yourself. A slow forward lean. Rounded shoulders. The head tilting just a little more down than it used to. We think of posture as something minor, but it's actually a deep reflection of strength, balance, and self-confidence. Peggy shared a beautiful story about her 100-year-old mother. She was still active until her final day, washing dishes, cleaning the vanity. She never wanted to be a burden and stayed strong to the very end. That kind of vitality doesn't happen by accident. It happens through small, consistent attention to the body. Posture affects more than your spine. It impacts breathing, digestion, circulation, and even mood. Poor posture can make you feel tired faster and emotionally weighed down. The good news? You don't need to become a gymnast. Even small changes, stretching your arms overhead in the morning, adjusting how you sit at the table, walking tall during your grocery run, can begin to reverse the slow collapse inward. Your body remembers how to stand proud. It just needs a little reminder. 4. Subtle balance issues, the unseen risk. Have you ever caught yourself grabbing the wall for support? Or feeling a little more cautious stepping into the shower? That's your balance quietly shifting. It doesn't happen overnight, but it does matter. Because balance isn't just about stability. It's about trust in your body, your environment, your ability to move through life safely. Eleanor, now 94, reflected on this beautifully. After cancer surgery, I feel stronger each day. I still cook for myself and enjoy life. When my time comes, I just hope for a peaceful end. That strength isn't just physical, it's mental. It's confidence in each step, each choice. The most dangerous part of balance loss isn't the fall, it's the fear that comes after. The fear that makes people stop walking, stop going out, stop living. But like any muscle, balance can be trained. You don't need fancy equipment, just daily awareness. Try standing on one foot at the kitchen counter, or walking heel to toe across the hallway. Small, regular movements bring big returns in confidence and safety. 5. A fading sense of joy, the quietest signal. Now this one is the most subtle of all. It's not pain. It's not fatigue. It's the loss of lightness. That spark that once made you excited for the day, eager to laugh, or delighted by the little things. It's not depression, not exactly. It's more like numbness. A woman named Patty, in her late 70s, said it clearly. I'm tired, losing weight, and overwhelmed. But I've found peace in my faith and joy in little things, like YouTube videos that make me smile. I just want to feel loved and not stressed anymore. That simple truth, wanting to feel loved, is often at the heart of aging gracefully. When we lose our sense of joy, everything else feels heavier. But when we choose to reconnect with music from our youth, a walk in nature, a hobby that uses our hands, we begin to revive something precious inside us. Joy doesn't have to be loud. Sometimes it's as quiet as wrapping your hands around a warm mug, watching a bird at the window, letting yourself hum a tune for no reason at all. The spark is still there. You just have to look in its direction. So here we are. 3 more signs: posture, balance, joy. None of them demand urgency, but each of them whispers, "Notice me. Help me. I'm still here." These aren't signs of decline, they're calls to pay attention. Because aging doesn't just happen to the body. It happens through every layer of how we live. And in the final part of our journey, we'll look at how all these signs connect, and how a shift in perspective can bring comfort, clarity, and strength, no matter your age. So let's take a breath and reflect. We've talked about 5 quiet, often overlooked signs of aging. That heavy, mental fog that makes simple tasks feel hard. The shrinking of our social world, and the ache of isolation. The slow shift in posture that whispers of forgotten strength. The subtle loss of balance that makes the world feel a little less steady. And perhaps the quietest of all, the fading spark of joy. None of these signs shout. They don't arrive with warning bells or flashing lights. They show up gently, almost politely, tugging at the edges of our days, asking for care, not crisis. And the truth is, these signs aren't failures. They're not the end of something. They are invitations. To notice.to realign.to begin again, with intention. Because aging isn't about giving up, it's about growing into something deeper. Sarah, who cared for her husband through his final year, put it beautifully. I choose to remember his smile, our laughter, and the life we built. Never forget what you once had. And Jackie, 75, facing her own transition with quiet courage, wrote, "It's not scary. Just intriguing. Sharing our stories helps ease our grip on life. These aren't just stories. They are proof that grace and strength can live alongside fatigue, loss, or uncertainty." So what do we do with all of this? We listen. We soften our expectations. We check in with ourselves, gently, like we would with someone we love. We don't need to change everything overnight. But we can choose one thing today. One walk. One stretch. One honest phone call. One deep breath before we rush. One moment to say, "I'm still here." And that matters. If something in this message spoke to you, if you saw yourself, or someone you love, in these signs, we'd love to hear from you. Backhand index pointing down, leave a comment below. Share one small shift you're ready to make. Or tell us what aging has taught you, about grace, about resilience, about joy. Your story might just be the encouragement someone else needs. And if this message gave you peace, clarity, or hope, consider subscribing to our channel. Hit the bell, so you won't miss gentle, meaningful content made just for you. And most of all, speed balloon, share this video with someone you love. Because aging doesn't mean fading. It means unfolding, beautifully, intentionally, and together. You're not alone. You're not too late. And you still matter so much. Then subscribe, share, comment,